Hi guys, so last year I did a 10-day fast. I didn't document it. I didn't really tell anyone about it. But this year I figured maybe I should vlog it because I think it's interesting. It's something that I would watch. And it's not something that you'd watch. You don't have to watch it. But I am going to be doing a 6-day fast starting soon. So I wanted to just bring you along with me. By the way, I have enough fat on me to sustain myself for way more than 6 days without food. I know how much fat I'm carrying and I know what I can sustain with regard to fasting. Fasting's not for everyone. Fasting has done wonders for me, and it's such a great way to clear your mind, to clear your spirit, to clear your intentions. And welcome to my 6-day fast. Well, it's almost going to be a 6-day fast. I hope that you guys find it entertaining or valuable or educational in some way. I'm choosing to fast this week for various reasons. One, I just finished my period, so I'm in my follicular phase. It's one of the best times to fast as a woman. Two, it's actually going to be socially convenient for me and my circumstances this upcoming week for me to fast. So, and three, I just want to give my stomach a break. You know, my stomach is always working. I want to show it that I care about its rest as well. And this 6-day fast is just one way for me to show my gratitude. I don't care about the weight. I'm not going to weigh myself before nor after because it's not about that. It's about more than just giving my stomach a break too. It's also about just learning to sit with anxiety and being okay with it. So yeah, how I'm planning to prepare for this fast. I'm going to be buying some Ultima electrolytes. I'm going to be drinking lots of tea. And I also need to buy some monk fruit and allulose sugar substitute because that's what I sometimes will use on my tea. Not all the time. That's going to be the menu for this week. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Shout out to Hug the Homies. Day 1 of this fast completed. Nothing insightful to share. It's the first day. It's the easiest day. Yeah, see y'all later. It's cold. So I'm about to hit 48 hours in 2 hours. So 2 days in 2 hours. But I figured I might as well get this video out of the way. Today was hard, but not because I couldn't eat. Because life's just hard. Today I had a little hiccup. It was so stupid. It's something very trivial. And I was thinking to myself, lunch would have been nice, you know? But didn't have that, so I'm fine now. For the last 4 weeks, I've been running. As long as I do 9 miles in 6 days, that's been the goal. Nothing crazy. So I'm still doing that now. I'm still working out and haven't had issues. I've done this before. I know what to expect, and I also know what not to expect. And I don't expect food. So when you don't expect food, you just try not to think about it. So as much as I'm sometimes like, food would be nice right now, I also realize like I don't actually need it. Like my body's got me. My body has got me. I went to the gym yesterday and today, and I was just looking at myself thinking like, damn, like I'm strong. I'm gonna be okay. I was looking at my fat and I was thinking to myself like, I'm resilient. Look at my fat. I'm resilient. And I don't mean that in like a insecure type way. Like I'm actually very grateful for the fat that I am carrying. And some people might think that sounds absurd, but that's what our fat is for. It's to sustain us. So when I was looking at my fat earlier today, I was thinking to myself, I'm doing what I'm meant to do with this. I'm using some of it. I'm not going to use all of it. That's for sure. It actually takes a long time for you to burn off fat. And as someone who fasted for 10 days, I can tell you that the rate of fat burn changes day to day, even if you're working out. So our bodies are so smart. At one point, the rate of fat loss changes. It's not linear. And so some people might think that abstaining from food for 6 days is too much, but you don't understand just how beautiful and how smart our bodies can get. So if your body's thinking that you're in starvation mode, sometimes your body will try to hold on to fat more than release it. I don't think that's going to happen during this 6-day fast. It's just going to be 6 days, but you will lose fat. You do. First they sell you the problem, then they sell you the solution. You gotta love capitalism. Little walking break. We're gonna narrate my journey on the way to 72 hours, but technically I'm on my way to 96 hours right now. I'll be hitting the 4th day this evening. Yesterday I woke up at 4 a.m. I had plans to go to the gym at 5 a.m. but I woke up at 4 thirsty, so I realized I didn't do a great job at hydrating. So I woke up at 4 a.m. I took out my voice memos app and I recorded some of the dreams that I had because they were food related dreams. I'm not gonna dissect those dreams right now. Maybe I'll share 2 of the 3 dreams that I had related to food. And so I went back to sleep and I woke up later than I wanted to, so I didn't get to hit the gym at 5 a.m., which was fine because when I woke up, I realized my legs were feeling a little bit flimsy. They were feeling a bit weak. The day before I had worked on my legs at the gym, so maybe that's why. Also, from my previous experience with fasting, I think your body struggles to become fat adapted. I think that it translates into sometimes feelings of physical fatigue, but I eventually took a walking break like the one I'm doing right now and got back to work for 5 hours straight, just sitting down. I don't usually sit that long, but I was very focused. I felt good, very engaged with what I was doing. And then I went to the gym in the evening. I still ran 1.5 miles. I have to admit, that was the hardest part of my day. Running that 1.5 miles was the hardest part of my day. So I sustained 2 knee injuries 2024, and I was feeling a bit of pain on my right knee, but I kept going and I felt good afterwards. I also did the bare minimum when it came to my upper body workout, to be honest, but I took it slow and I finished my bare minimum gym habits that I have. I have like the habits app, and I just check mark some bare minimums. And yeah, I have to say that yesterday was a successful day, even though it started off a little bit flimsy. It felt good. I was tired at the end, which was nice. I like feeling tired after a long day. This morning I woke up and I didn't get great sleep last night, but I felt good this morning. Today I feel better than I felt yesterday, but not because I'm closer to ending this fast, just because ebbs and flows of life, you know? And so today's a slightly better day than yesterday, but life is still life. I know that. There's always the next disillusionment, okay? Disillusionment is just right around the corner, and that's okay. I decided that I'm gonna be going to the gym in the evening again today, just because I like the way my focus was as soon as I got up yesterday, and so I'm trying to replicate that same energy today, which I think I'm doing so far. I still have a whole day ahead of me, so I can't really say if that will be true. This morning, I experienced that weird queasy feeling that you get when you do an intense workout on an empty stomach. I don't know if anybody has ever experienced that feeling. You just feel a little bit queasy. But that feeling went away as soon as I drank my electrolytes. Shout out to Ultima, they're so yummy. So I had my electrolyte drink, and even though I had terrible sleep last night, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. No weird tired feeling on my legs or knees right now. I feel great. I was craving black coffee, but I know how sensitive I am and I don't want to do that. I'm already a very energized person as it is, and caffeine, even decaf, I know some people won't believe it, but it actually affects me. So I skipped out on the black coffee this morning, but I was craving it. I know I'm tired, but I'm just gonna get through this day. As far as appetite, I'm not struggling. In the past, I've made silly mistakes like watching cooking tutorials during fasting, and that's just the dumbest thing you could do. But also, I have my food prepared for me. I don't have to really cook Friday, so So as far as appetite goes, I'm not experiencing an appetite. When you fast, it's really cool because you get to see more clearly your ebbs and flows during your day. Usually when I eat, I get a lot of energy after I eat. But without food, I get to understand more clearly what activities move me forward. One way that you can distract yourself from appetite is by being fully engaged in whatever task is at hand. When you give something your all, it could be playing basketball with your family or kids, it could be playing soccer with your kids, it could be partaking in a challenging project like a woodworking project. When you fully engage and when the task becomes challenging enough, sometimes if playing with your kid isn't challenging enough, it should be, so that you can be fully present. Whether it's engaging with your work, your hobbies, or your family, you become distracted as soon as you stop engaging fully with that present experience. So one of the reasons why I think I'm not feeling appetite right now is because, generally speaking, I've been fully engaged with the stuff that I'm doing. So that's very helpful. And then you realize, oh my goodness, we don't have that much time during the day. We think we do, but it's not so daunting when you are fully engaged moment to moment and you don't let yourself slip away into noise and distraction. You understand that we don't have that much time, and this fast is not a big deal. It's not a big deal, but it is as far as the benefits you get from it. But as far as like whether or not it can be completed, it can. It's very easy after a certain threshold. And I think I passed my fat adaptability threshold yesterday because I feel good today. And I hope I feel good tomorrow, but ebbs and flows. This feeling might not last. I don't know. We'll see. I didn't think that I had to mention this, but just a disclaimer, I'm not taking any medication that would suppress my appetite. I guess I need to mention that, but nope. Just me trying to be fully engaged to forget. And it's working. It's working. I'm on my way to day 5. My voice is still weird and it's so embarrassing. Yeah, the optimistic, cheerful, very energized woman that I recorded yesterday, she died around 5 p.m. Yeah, sleep deprivation caught up to her and she was no longer feeling like she could be fully engaged. She had a hard time pivoting her thoughts to the point where she ended up dropping what she was doing and just heading straight to the gym. I still did the nonstop 1.5 miles that I'm accustomed to. Sometimes I'll have carbs as a pre-workout. So it's either overnight oats or like a date with ghee or toast even. And I know what my runs feel like when I'm fueled by carbs. So I sort of was running my 1.5 miles, just psyching myself into thinking that I had just had carbs. And I got through that dreadful 1.5 miles. Then came my strength training, and that was probably the best part. It felt really awesome. Definitely, I should probably be strength training more right now while I'm fasting, because I've heard that the more you strength train, the more you are making sure that you're not losing muscle mass. That's what I've heard. I also wanted to talk a little bit about that because some people might say that 6 days is too much, but you also have to understand women carry more fat naturally. I theorize that fasting is probably easier for women than it is for men because men naturally have more muscle mass. And I think that if I was an evolutionary biologist, I would probably theorize that's because women have historically not been able to count on hunting for food during certain famines or during certain time. Women have to have a certain amount of fat. You'll know this because, for example, if you don't carry enough fat, you will stop getting your period, which is called amenorrhea. If enough studies were to be conducted about this subject, I think that women would have an easier time fasting for longer time periods, but that's just my guess. I'm just thinking that. I also think that it depends on your muscle mass. If you're already a very lean person, I don't think fasting for 6 days is going to be best suited for you. You might get to the point where you do lose muscle mass. It just depends on how lean you are and how much fat you're carrying. I'm carrying enough fat that those subjects don't really affect me. Okay, this is just a side note, but I recently learned that there was this rodent study looking at fasted rodents, female fasted rodents, and what they found is that they experienced a loss in their menstrual cycle, but it came back when they started eating more. And over time, they were actually able to expand their fertility. So, temporary suppression of reproduction during energy scarcity or caloric restriction in these rodents protected ovarian function long term. If this is the case for humans too, then amenorrhea might not be a bad thing, but I don't know that. I can't say that for sure. The scientist in the podcast that I was listening to, he can't say that that would be the same case for female humans. But I do think that it's something to ponder on. It's kind of interesting. The evolutionary theory for why women don't get their period when they don't have enough fat is because biologically it's an assumption that there aren't enough resources to sustain a child. And so because there aren't enough resources to sustain a child, because you're not carrying enough fat, you stop getting your period. But that doesn't mean you lose those eggs. Those rodents showed a longer fertility window. Imagine what this could mean for women. But it needs to be further looked at. I don't know if this will ever be further looked at. Bro, give me 30 women. I'll starve them. I don't mind. Okay, so you know the I'm not experiencing any appetite woman, the I'm so fully engaged woman that I recorded yesterday. Well, she died this morning because I'm experiencing an appetite. As soon as I woke up this morning, I was like thinking of food too much. And I think this is a signal for me where I think that I am ready to end this fast. Is I don't want to become food obsessed. And when you're fasting for multiple days, I think that that's a red flag. If you're becoming too food obsessed, this could end up backfiring once refeeding begins. A lot of people think that abstaining from food is the hardest part of fasting, but in my opinion, from experience, it's the refeeding window that is a lot harder, because you really have to make an attempt to abstain from eating way too much while your metabolism is going back to being carb dependent. And not just that, but if you've built up a lot of ghrelin, that hormone that makes you feel more hungry, then you could end up hurting yourself and gaining all the weight that you lost back. You could end up in a vicious cycle of just food obsession. I'm excited that I'll be breaking the fast tomorrow. I think it's time. And yeah, so far I feel okay, but didn't have the best focus today. And that's okay. I also didn't get the best sleep last night, but tonight I am counting on slightly better sleep. We'll see. In 4 hours, I'm gonna be ending this fast, and just wanted to tell y'all a little bit about the fast itself, what I experienced, things that I didn't talk about. One thing I didn't talk about was how the longer you fast, sometimes you will start to experience coldness, so you'll feel more cold. I heard this is because your metabolism slows down because you enter energy conservation mode. I think on average I was drinking 2 Ultima packages a day, and I thought that I was going to be drinking a lot of tea, but there's a point where tea just made me feel gross. So I ended up drinking mostly water. I would usually have 1 packet of Ultima as soon as I woke up, and then after my workout I would also have Ultima. I would say I stayed pretty hydrated. Your mouth has like a weird taste to it when you're not eating. I was still brushing my teeth, but the way that your mouth tastes is just slightly different compared to when you're eating. Duh. But that's one thing. One thing I did not share with you guys that I'm gonna confess, I did chew gum during this fast. I think each of the gums are like 5 calories, something like that. It's sugar-free gum. So if you're not into bloating, I wouldn't suggest it. Sometimes it can make your stomach upset if you're sensitive to the sugar substitute that is in sugar-free gum. But I have to admit that this was probably one of the reasons why it was very easy for me to fast, some teas can be like 5 calories too. I have teas that are like up to 15 calories. Like I said, I thought I was gonna be drinking more tea, but I ended up sticking to just water. During this fast, I probably had a total of 13 pieces of gum, something like that. And I wanted to put it out there because I personally think that it's a great tool. Some people might try to say it takes you out of autophagy, it takes you out of ketosis. What people don't understand about autophagy, which is self-eating, it's when your body essentially takes out your garbage cells. What people don't understand about this is that it's a continuous process. You don't actually have to fast a whole day for it to be happening. You could wake up and have a fasted workout and kickstart autophagy. Granted, the longer you don't eat, the deeper the autophagy will occur in you, but you don't have to completely abstain from food for autophagy to be happening. I don't think that chewing gum is a big deal unless you're chewing like 20 pieces of gum a day. Then it's like, okay, what are you doing here? First of all, you're gonna be bloated. Why do you want to feel like that? And then after a while too, there's just something nice about not having any flavor in your mouth and just drinking water. Towards the end of this fast, I just want water. That's it. I don't want anything flavored. I completed the 9 miles that I'm accustomed to completing every week for the last month. The hardest day was day 2, I believe, where I think that was a day that I woke up with my legs feeling a little bit weak. One of those days, it was either day 2 or day 3 where my legs felt weak. And there was a time where as soon as I woke up, I experienced an increase in heart rate, but that went away as soon as I took a long walk. I want to talk about what I plan to break my fast with. I'm just going to be having a portion of baked salmon with coconut aminos, and then on the side, I'm going to have homemade veggie broth with herbs. But that's the meal. That's all I'm gonna try to have. Tomorrow morning, I'm gonna be eating more. So from experience, I know that your metabolism slows down when you're fasting. So that's another reason why today's meal is just gonna be small. I've made the mistake in the past of overeating and not moving enough. So I'm planning to do a pretty hardcore workout tomorrow night. I wanna make sure that I am giving a reason for my body to become quickly carb adapted again. One thing that isn't looked at or talked about enough, in my opinion, in the fasting world that I'm a geek about is insulin resistance post-fast. That insulin resistance, which means not being able to take up available sugar and use it for fuel, that insulin resistance can be caused by many different things. Usually it happens straight after a fast. You will experience that if you are bombarding yourself with carbs. And I am going to be having carbs tomorrow. So I just want to make sure that I'm giving my body a reason to use that fuel so that it can quickly shift back to a fast metabolism. In the past, I have noticed that my bowel movements usually take longer after fasting. After maybe Sunday, if I need to fast again this upcoming week for about 2 days, I will, because I don't want to keep feeding my body if it's struggling to metabolize what I have ate. I know this is too much information. I'm just giving you guys the insights that I'm learning, okay? This is a topic that I love, the topic that clearly I want people to know about, because everyone's out here on Ozempic, but if we just learn to use this as a tool, and if it becomes a tool that we have in our pockets, America could change forever. Who dying out there, bruh? Not someone's dead impeding my little vlog. It's a joke. I really hope whoever that's for is okay. I can't keep ignoring it. What's going on? I will probably be sharing with you guys post-fast experience, because I think that's the interesting part. Part of the whole fasting experience is how your body behaves after the fast. Not just how your body behaves, but how you behave, how I behave. And I think that talking about it will help keep me accountable to make sure that I keep myself contained, I keep my appetite contained. I'm excited to end this fast because I'm excited to get my sleep back. So excited to get my sleep back. There's so much more about this topic that I want to ramble about, but I don't have the energy to do that right now. My enthusiasm is pretty much bland. These 4 to 6 hour naps that I've been taking are interesting. I went to sleep around 1 a.m. last night because I couldn't go to sleep. Then I woke up naturally at 5 a.m. And there is this weird, funny energy that you get after these little naps. You feel so good. You feel hyped. I can't explain it. Someone who's fasted will have to let me know whether or not this is the same for them. It's such a giggly energy. You're slightly psychotic, but it could be in a good way. I feel like it's in a good way. But I am biased about that, so. This hat makes me look very sweet. It's not far from the truth. It's not. If you're interested in fasting, but you don't want to do multi-day fasting, one of my favorite fasts is what is considered an anabolic fast. For me, I like 3-hour fasts between my meals. So no snacking. If you feel that fasting seems daunting, but you want to check it out, this is probably one of the quickest ways to introduce yourself to it is by setting a timer and see if you can go without food in between meals for 3 hours. And I know that seems like small, but it's actually one way that you can kind of begin to test out the waters when it comes to fasting. The other thing you could do is intermittent fasting. I love 16-8 as well. So 16 hours you don't eat. For an 8-hour period you do eat. That's one of my favorite types of fasts as well. I don't do it all the time. To be honest, it's always social events or social gatherings that kick me out of fasting, and that's a whole other discussion I don't really want to get into. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Hit me up if you have any questions about fasting. I probably don't know all the answers, but I can only tell you what I've experienced from my fasting journey. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this fast. I hope that you will be here for the post-fast experience too. But if you don't want to be here for that, that's okay. I appreciate your watching, even though y'all ghost followers. I love y'all ghost followers. I don't, but you know, I'll take it. I'll take the view. Okay, now I need to go and make sure that I'm not looking at the clock, because I'm looking at the clock. I'm ready for countdown.